You're telling me about this, I tell you about that. Start talking shit, you walk into another trap.
To the last show of the series. Over in America, finally, a glimmer of hope.
For the first time in 25 years, Alabama, a state in America's deep south, has elected a Democrat senator.
Doug Jones is the unlikely victor in a deeply Republican state. Republicans were left to pray. Their candidate, Roy Moore, lost in the face of accusations he had sexually assaulted multiple teenage girls.
He was accused of abusing a 14-year-old girl. And who was his main supporter? Who do you think?
So get out and vote for Roy Moore. Do it. Do it.
He's a good guy. Solid. Pedo. Let's make America grope again. It's unbelievable. Trump protected an alleged child molester to promote his own interests. Who do you think he is, the BBC? Right? I can do that joke. I can do that joke now. It's absolutely fine. It gets worse. Look what Roy Moore's supporters said about the abuse allegations.
That's nothing but a bunch of fake news.
Judge Moore is being falsely accused, just like Joseph in the Bible.
I didn't see it with my own eyes. Until I see it with my own eyes, I don't believe anything.
I don't believe anything I don't see. When I close my eyes, you gone. You back. You gone. You on the left. You on the right. You jumping. You jumping. How can they be that thick? I don't believe it till I've seen it with my own eyes. And you're like, gravity? Oxygen? I mean, I've never seen my arsehole. Pretty sure it's there. Now, of all, and I've looked, of all... What are you doing with that mirror, Russ? It doesn't matter, Mother. Of all the supporters, this guy has to be the most shocking.
40 years ago in Alabama, there's a lot of mamas and daddies that'd be thrilled that their 14-year-old was getting hit on by a district attorney.
Exactly! Who in their right mind is going to think like that? I'm so proud. A grown man felt my little girl's ass. Oh, say, can you see? If only my wife would believe her, but she didn't see it with her own eyes. Now, not only has Roy Moore been accused of being a paedophile, he's been accused of homophobia and racism. Did you see the way his wife defended him?
Fake news would tell you that we don't care for Jews. I tell you all this because I've seen it all, so I just want to set the record straight while they're here. One of our attorneys is a Jew.
What a fucking idiot! Our attorney's a Jew, our gardener's a Mexican, our chef's a Chinese, or Japanese, I can never tell. How can I be racist? My daddy used to own black people. Mind you, exactly, what an idiot. Mind you, if you think his wife's a moron, check out the interview with his chief spokesman. See if you can spot the moment when his whole world falls apart.
Judge Moore has also said that he doesn't think a Muslim member of Congress should be allowed to be in Congress. Why? Under what provision of the Constitution?
Because you have to swear on the Bible. When you are before, I had to do it. I'm an elected official, 3 terms. I had to swear on the Bible. You have to swear on a Bible to be an elected official in the United States of America. He alleges that a Muslim cannot do that ethically, swearing on the Bible.
You don't actually have to swear on a Christian Bible. You can swear on anything, really. I don't know if you knew that. You can swear on a Jewish Bible.
Oh, no, I swore on the Bible. I've done it 3 times.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you've picked a Bible, but the law is not that you have to swear on a Christian Bible. That is not the law. You don't know that?
I did not know that. Now, even though he lost fair and square, Roy Moore wouldn't accept the outcome.
Defeat is not something Republican candidates are used to in Alabama, but that's what happened to Roy Moore, and he couldn't bring himself to accept it.
The votes are still coming in, and we're looking at that.
What a surprise! A man accused of a sex crime wouldn't take no for an answer. Not only that, he's got some really weird ideas about the American dream.
Abortion, sodomy, and materialism have taken the place of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Now, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure that sodomy doesn't lead to abortion. If you're having anal sex and it leads to a baby, you're doing it wrong. I mean, that is a Specsavers ad waiting to happen. Just face it, Roy, you lost. The people of Alabama said no to bigotry, no to idiocy, and the whole world saw it with our own eyes. Now, talking of idiocy, this next story is utterly insane.
Now, a new study suggests that there could be some truth to the much-debated phenomenon of man flu. According to research published in the BMJ, men have weaker immune systems than women and could well suffer more and for longer from their coughs and colds.
Did you hear that? That is the sound of every woman in the country going, oh, for fuck's sake. Men are terrible. Some women give birth without drugs. We get the sniffles and suddenly we're like, help me. I fear the winter may take me. Go. Find love with another, leave me here to die. Men suffer from man flu, women suffer from men. Also, if man flu is so crippling, so debilitating, leaves us broken and writhing in agony, how do we always summon the power to have a wank? Your girlfriend comes home, oh, you poor love. Look at all these tissues you've been sneezing all day. You're like, yeah. Yeah. Been sneezing, yeah. Sneezing all over my bed. That's too much. You're right, that was too much. It's nearly Christmas. But not that it's the weirdest health story in the news. This is utterly insane.
The cartoon character Peppa Pig's been blamed for contributing to patients' unrealistic expectations of what they can expect from their GP. Dr. Brown Bear isn't a true representation of a GP, with his prompt and direct telephone access, extended hours, and a low threshold for home visits.
Now, surely, the unrealistic thing in Peppa Pig is that the doctor is a fucking bear! Like, if Peppa went near a real bear, he'd eat her and shit her out like a muddy puddle. What adult is complaining that their doctor isn't a bear?
I want a GP who scratches his back on a rock. I want to see him wipe his ass on a tree, and I want him now.
A bear doctor would be awful. When do we need doctors the most? Winter. What do bears do all winter? Fucking hibernate! What adult takes kid stories literally? Are they at platform 9 3/4?
Why did they lie to us?
Just headbutting a wardrobe.
Where's Narnia? Where's Narnia? They've told us a fib.
Now, as you can imagine, the papers were all over this. Peppa Pig accused of destroying the NHS. She's a cartoon pig, not Harold Shipman. Peppa Pig is not destroying the NHS through the medium of that show. I'll show you who is. Dr. Brown Bear was working very hard because Jeremy Hunt Pig was making doctors work longer hours for less money. Boris Pig had promised the NHS 350 million, but it turned out he was fucking lying. So Dr. Brown Bear ate him. Elsewhere this week, there's been some mad Christmas stories. First up, terrible news. Archaeologists may have found Santa's skeleton. Or, as Newsweek put it, Santa is dead. Well, I think we can all agree that's going to change the Christmas songs. They've eaten his head, they've eaten his toes, there's worms coming out of his eyes and his nose. Santa Claus is dead in the ground. Kids like that. Ah! Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer was out of work and really screwed. The elves came along with mincers and ground him up into dog food. One more, right? Jingle bells, Santa smells, 'cause he's fucking dead. The stench is so unbearable, there's maggots in his head. Hey! I had a lot of fun writing those songs. Now, to be honest, it's not that hard to freak out kids. Some of them are just shocked by the idea of Santa coming around their house.
What's Santa coming at my house?
Yeah, he's going to come to your house.
What the f***?
Join me after the break when I'll be talking to the award-winning host of Last Week Tonight, John Oliver. Welcome back to the show. Now, fair to say it's been a tough year. Trump, Brexit, Grenfell, gun deaths, terror attacks, hurricanes, and Jaffa Cakes. Jaffa Cakes went from a pack of 12 to 10. It's been a river of shit. But if you look closely, 2017 has actually been an amazing year for so many reasons. Some of the most majestic animals in the world are no longer endangered. Humpback whales, snow leopards, giant pandas. In March, China banned the domestic ivory trade, saving the lives of 200,000 elephants a year. And in September, a squirrel in America got a touchdown.
Look at him go. The 20. Wes, he might do it. Wes, he's gonna do it. Oh my goodness, buddy, do it. Do it, do it. Touchdown. Oh, man, he's my favorite squirrel.
It was a year full of heroes. We had the firefighters at Grenfell. Bradley Lowry won the January goal of the month. In November, a legend took Trump off Twitter for 11 glorious minutes. On Tyneside, the people who own the shop Sainsbury's were threatened with legal action by Sainsbury's. Did they close down? Did they fuck? They changed their name to Morrison's. Who could forget the glorious moment when we found out about this? The woman who got trapped in a window trying to retrieve her poo after a Tinder date. And in September, the world stood still to watch an Irish family try and get a bat out of their kitchen.
Catch him. Catch him, Derry. Derry, catch him. Maureen, will you stop looking in the door? The dog's pissing. Dad, the dog's after peeing. Go on, catch him now. There he is. Get him. Go. Oh, fuck it!
There were moments that made you proud to be British. This police officer dancing at the One Love concert. The moment an English bloke walked away from a terror attack, still holding his pint. And the absolute joy we all felt when this happened.
Scandals happen all the time. The question is, how do democracies respond to those scandals?
And what will it mean for the wider region? I think one of your children has just walked in. I mean, shifting sounds in the region. Do you think relations with the North may change?
I would be surprised if they do. Pardon me. Pardon me. My apologies.
Exactly. It's been a big year. It's been lots. In 2017, we had the first autistic Sesame Street character. Nike created a sports hijab for Muslim women. And more importantly than all of this, Katie Hopkins got fired. In royal news, a ginger pulled a hottie. The Queen still hasn't given Trump a state visit. And in Chesterfield, someone made a tribute to Princess Diana with a penis for a nose. There's been loads of scientific breakthroughs. Astronomers found 7 new Earth-like planets. Some Dutch scientists may have discovered a way to reverse ageing. Scottish boffins put a tea cake in outer space. And we made huge progress in robotics. But fair to say, we've still got a way to go. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. Across the world, equality took huge strides forward. Trump's bigoted transgender laws were blocked by the federal courts. In May, Emmanuel Macron defeated the French National Front, and Australia voted to legalise gay marriage. Exactly. So many things. In British politics, we had a pointless election, and one woman summed up how we all felt.
You're joking. Not another one?
Everyone made the same predictions, that Labour would be wiped out, but they did all right. Jeremy Corbyn was so thrilled, he high-fived a pair of tits. In sport, there was loads to celebrate. Charges were finally brought in the Hillsborough case. England's women won the Cricket World Cup. Anthony Joshua became the heavyweight champion of the world. And on a personal note, I played in the Grenfell charity game and found out what happens when you try and outrun Mo Farah. 2017 was also a massive year for women's rights. The Women's March in America, they were the biggest protest in their history. Saudi Arabia lifted the ban on women driving. And Time magazine celebrated the bravery of women who spoke out against sex offenders. In music, there were amazing new albums from Kendrick Lamar, Lord, Jay-Z, Wolf Alice, and Noel Gallagher got a woman on TV to play the scissors. What I'm saying is brilliant things are happening every day. The hole in the ozone layer is getting smaller. We made a plan to plant 73 million new trees in the Amazon. We're on the verge of wiping out polio forever. And we live in a world where you can go on YouTube and watch deaf people hear for the first time. Whenever you despair, do what I do. Just watch this. It makes you realise how wonderful the world can be.
There you go. It's beeping. So now technically your device is on. Can you tell? Cooper. Hi, Cooper. Hi, Cooper.
Hi, baby.
Sounds good.
I know I look like an elderly munchkin, but do I sound like one now?
In this week's Playground Politics, me and the kids, what could we discuss? There's only one thing. Christmas.
How does Jack Frost get to work? By ideas? By
Icicles. So, let's talk Christmas.
Yay!
What would be your dream present to get this Christmas?
A gumball machine. Football boots. Xbox One. Xbox One.
Hang on. Whoa. You really want a Lamborghini?
A Lamborghini.
What colour?
Gold.
Okay. Hit me.
Electric scooter.
Nice. And how about you?
Pull-up bar.
Yep. Yeah, wow.
And...
Yeah, how old are you?
8.
It's about time you got, yeah. How many pull-ups can you do?
About 20 or 50.
How often are you guys working out?
I'm working out every day.
Do you know what my favourite thing for Christmas ever was?
What?
My nan fell asleep and she farted so loudly she woke herself up.
proper like that, a real growler. Yeah. Do you think you've been naughty or nice this year?
I reckon I've been naughty.
Do you? Why?
Yeah.
Why? What happened?
Don't want to tell you that, that's a secret.
Fair enough, I understand. Snitches get stitches.
There's a hole in the ceiling!
What?
There's a hole in the ceiling!
It's a window! That's a window!
There's a hole in the
It's a window! And how about you, Amy? Do you think you've been good?
Last year I was a little bit naughty, but I still got presents. And it's the same this year,
What did you do? How were you a little bit naughty?
It's just sometimes I argued because I didn't get my own way.
Right.
I just get...
But that's all right, innit? That's not carjacking. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. What would you do if you saw an elf in your house?
I have an elf in my house.
I do. I have an elf on the shelf. A naughty one.
A naughty
Very naughty one.
But I've got 3.
I have 2.
And guess what? 2 of them are mean to the other one.
Get out of town. What are they doing to him? Wedgies?
I've got this like little train track, remote control train track.
Yeah.
They put the elf on the train track and they ran him over.
Oh, God.
2 minutes in silence, please.
Yeah.
Done.
Yep, done.
I've seen one on YouTube. An elf tried to put other elves in the fireplace and burn them.
Wow.
I watched a video of the 5 YouTubers who saw Santa in the night. And then somebody...
Take me through this. What happened?
Someone saw Father Christmas going past the moon on an airplane.
Whoa.
If you chuck an elf on purpose, then they might...
I heard this, right?
They will paint your face like they did to my own gun. Speaking of hitting girls...
Yeah.
Because boys aren't allowed to hit girls, why are girls allowed to hit boys?
Well, they're not really.
Oh.
But they've got...
Yeah, it's against the law to hit a girl, so...
Yeah.
Is it against the law? It's bad luck.
It's bad luck! Yeah, it's been proven to ruin careers. What's the best thing about Christmas dinner?
I don't know, because usually my sister cries about the food.
Does she?
Gravy!
Gravy?
Porksa!
What? Pork
Sausage!
The pudding.
Really?
Delicious.
And potato! Everything except for stuffing, because stuffing is disgusting.
What about pigs and blankets? Sausage with the... Oh, yeah?
I hate sausages.
Do you?
Oh my God.
I mean, that is...
So you hate hot dogs?
You flush it down the toilet? Years ago, I got asked to go and make Christmas dinner with Gordon Ramsay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who's Gordon Ramsay?
Yes.
I don't know who any of these people are. Until now, I didn't even know who you are.
Oh, fuck.
My teacher really wants your autograph.
Oh, really? Okay. Thank you very much. Cheers. Miss Thompson.
Yeah?
Miss Thompson, I do not know how you survive.
I don't know how you survive.
Yeah, she'll know exactly what I mean. My guest this week is the Emmy Award-winning host of Last Week Tonight, an excellent holding midfielder and a good friend.
Welcome to Last Week Tonight!
This is nice.
You've stated that you believe there could be an infinite number of parallel universes. Does that mean that there is a universe out there where I am smarter than you?
Yes, and also a universe where you're funny.
Please welcome John Oliver! What's happening, Snake?
I'm not doing
What's
that.
happening,
I'm
Snake?
not doing that handshake. Shake my hand like a regular, normal... There.
No, we don't do that.
No,
Come on.
can't do it. I will not do it. I will not do it.
See, let's get to the first question.
Yes.
Why'd you stop me staying around your house?
Listen,
we had a good night. I cooked you pasta.
There's a very real answer to that. I do not remember the pasta cooking, and I feel like I would have done. I started inviting you to stay around my house because your feet were extremely smelly. Now, that's... In essence, that is fine, because feet can smell. However, you knew they were smelly, and you did nothing about it, so fuck you. Wow. At that point, you are complicit. At that point, I wasn't angry with your feet, I was angry with you. Your feet are disgusting.
They were disgusting.
Look at those. You're famous and rich, that's inexcusable. What is that? I can smell... I'm getting wafts when you move your foot from here.
I don't want to stay round your house
There's a
anymore.
fishy cheese to your feet.
There's a fucking attitude to you. How are you?
Fine, thanks, mate.
Oh, that was good.
Had to get it out of the system somehow, right?
Yeah, yeah. Now, it's so cool that you're on the show. It's going to be weird, because I'm going to have to ask you serious questions.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
But what's it like in America? How are you finding it?
Well, it's my home, right? So that is my home. Yeah. I love it there. So I would rather that my home was not in kind of emotional flames.
Yeah.
So it's very sad watching the news in depth and in detail, because most people don't have time you know, to look at how bad things actually are. And unfortunately, if you do and you realise the depth of despair that we actually should be in, then it's not ideal on a human emotional level. But writing jokes about it is nice, because at least it feels like you're doing something with your sadness.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like, oh, it's too much, let's just have a fun week? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, because doing this for, like, 14 weeks, there's just been times where you're like...
Oh, 14 weeks? Oh, I did it for 14 weeks? I can't believe it! It's just over 3 months.
Do you know how you...
Oh, no!
No, yeah. Do you know how you fight hate? You fight hate with love. I've got a present here for you.
Have you really?
Yeah.
I tell you, I nearly came off on your chair there.
Well, there's a better way of putting it than that. Hey, I can still do that.
Wait, is this real?
Of course it's
very,
real.
very light.
It's not Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
7.
Yeah. It's something that's going to bring joy to your heart.
We'll see about that.
We'll definitely see about that. You're going to cry a river. Ooh.
Oh, we see, now that is nice.
And that is Christmas.
That is... So, this is not... You should probably know some backstory. I have a child.
Yeah, we haven't explained that.
Otherwise, you could say, he likes kids' clothes. or does he like a really tight shirt? Because he doesn't look like he has the physique to carry that off. That's very... I appreciate that, and that is my son's surname, because it's also my surname, and that's how hereditary name succession works. And some nice...
Oh, there's socks. Look at the socks.
And, you know, he'll really appreciate that...
That's the noise.
Well, that can't have been a surprise. That is consistent with the size pattern. I'll tell you this is very nice. I don't think you'll be able to use this. Right, I thought I'd walk him around yesterday. I thought I'd walk him around London, see you know, people for him to look at, and he's just started saying... He likes saying hi to anyone that he sees. He was just saying hi on the street, and this quite rough guy opened a door for him, and it was a quintessentially London moment. He said hi, and then bye, and the guy went, he's a cheerful cunt, isn't he? Well, he's 2. He's starting to repeat words back, and he lives in America, where that word is not as charming as it is here. So you've just planted a kind of time delay hand grenade on me. But that is very nice. I actually appreciate that.
Talking about man swearing in the street, how do you find it being an outsider to American culture? How commenting so starkly on them, how does that go down?
Well, it helps. I mean, I think it always helps to be an outsider in comedy, right? It helps to have... So, like, the moment I open my mouth, it's clear that I, you know, did not belong there, necessarily.
Yeah.
But as, you know, I've been there over a decade now, and so it's my home, so there's not quite that sense of... I've got skin in the game, you know, I've got an emotional investment in America and what it is as a country, so...
Well, but that's the interesting thing. With your comedic rage, there is... and you've always had this, it's that desire to make things better, to find hope, and to try and, you know, like the amount of things you've done, good things you've done on your show, it isn't just, it's all shit, and then piss off. It's like, come on.
Well, when we do our long stories, like, if we're talking for 20 or sometimes 30 minutes about a story, that is a long time to not get to some suggestion of a solution.
Yeah.
Because if you're kind of guiding people through these incredibly depressing stories, and then you get to 20 minutes and say, anyway, good night, they go, what is this show and why am I watching it? So we try and put a story arc on it so that it can end somewhere that if it isn't hopeful, it's at least practical.
So you're famous for doing big stunts. What's your favourite?
Probably the dumbest stuff that we've done is the most exciting as a comedian, right?
Yeah.
You know, that if something is irresponsibly silly in its scale, there's kind of nothing that makes you happier than that.
Yes.
So we made an entire Supreme Court for dogs. full, like 360-degree scaled-down Supreme Court built by some of the Sopranos set designers. Wow. Wasting adults' time in the most glorious way. And had dogs with fake paws and costumes, and then uploaded all the footage to the internet. That was my first sense of thinking, if they're going to say that we can do anything, let's see what anything really means.
And did you have to cast... Was it someone's job to cast all the dogs?
Yes, it was. And that is a fucking great question. Yes. Yeah. So, it was. And so we had... It was like a casting board. And so then you'd cast bulldogs and say, well, that one looks a bit goofy. That one's sad in a non-usable way. How about this bulldog? Well, you know, he couldn't get here from 5 states away. Well, I want him. Get him on a plane. We tried to get Grumpy Cat for... do you know Grumpy Cat?
I know, yeah.
Yeah. Well, hold your whoop, because Grumpy Cat has nothing but a bunch of thugs around it, as far as I'm concerned. We said, oh, could we get Grumpy Cat in for something? This was years and years ago.
Yeah.
And I wish I could remember how much it was, but it was an absolutely unbelievable amount of money it would have taken. And I think Grumpy Cat required 5 airplane seats. And you think, Grumpy Cat needs 1, because it needs the person it's flying with and then the lap.
And presumably there's that gorgeous moment where you get to say out loud...
Yeah.
Well...
Fuck you, Grumpy Cat.
So, who's the best guest star you've had on the show?
Well, Dalai Lama's... Oh, you mean guest star, not like an interview? Ooh. I mean, Hanks is pretty good.
Yeah.
He's done... he was brilliant.
But you've met the Dalai Lama?
Yes. I interviewed him last year.
How was that?
Well, I did it in India, in his compound, so it's hard to get there, and, you know, you're walking up a mountain to speak to him, and it's odd, because there's a discrepancy between the sheer reverence of monks that are walking up mountains to speak to him, and me knowing that I'm going to kind of try and make fun of him, which is odd, because there's a distance with someone who is of that stature, but he's very aware of it, so he likes to punctuate any situations with comedy, so he tickled me.
So the Dalai Lama's allowed to tickle you. I've known you for years. We're not even allowed to shake hands.
Yeah? Well, find perfect spiritual oneness.
I'm trying.
And we can touch.
So, OK. So, all right, I'll see that as a challenge. Why wouldn't you let me tickle you? It'd be fun, wouldn't it? Imagine that. There's 3 stages of tickling. I'm laughing, I'm crying, I'm shitting myself.
Yeah.
I'd like to see you go through all of those.
Well, you know, I've got personal space issues.
Yeah.
And I think I see 3 stages of tickling as being assault, and more assault.
You haven't seen the way I do it.
I have seen the way you do it, and I don't want any part of it.
That is not true. You've never seen me...
You're all wrists and fingers.
Yeah. That's an official quote. I have to ask, congratulations for taking down Dustin Hoffman.
What? Well, hold on.
Well, no.
I did not take him down.
I haven't seen you make a room that awkward since York University, 2006.
Yeah.
But did you feel a responsibility to talk about that?
I felt it was unavoidable, and I'd spoken to the organisers of this event. I'd spoken to them twice before. When it was clear that he might be there, I said, if he's going to be there, I have to ask him about this. So I understand you might not want your event to be about this, so you might want to get someone else. And they said, no, we'd like you to do it. And then when he confirmed, I said, I am going to ask him. So it was, a collision course was set at that point. I felt like he had to bring it up. I knew that the stories were out there, and I knew that there were a few more coming. So I felt unavoidable that it was going to, that we had to have a discussion about it. And, it wasn't ideal that it became such a big media story, because then I think it became about my questions rather than his answers. And my questions were not particularly remarkable. His answers were kind of not great. Yeah. So I think that was really the point of it. But it didn't really go anywhere constructive, so the whole thing just made me feel sad.
It's better that you did it than if you hadn't.
That's true. You know, it was... I just wanted it to become something more constructive, but it was clear pretty early on that was not going to happen. I did try.
What you can say about
I tried and failed. Yeah.
And what are you doing for Christmas? Final question.
I'm going to see my family.
Lovely.
This Christmas. And I'm going to dress my little boy up in this. Look. I'll take a photo of it. If I can get him to point.
You have to do
no,
that.
like that. I'll send it to you.
Just for me as well, if you have a little speech bubble that says you're a cunt.
Do you know what? I appreciate this so much. I'll allow you 1 5-second tickle. You talk a big game. I'm regretting this. No. All right.
Think about your tickle. You start slow. You build that tickle up. Because things is about to get giggly.
I thought this would be a nice, coherent way out of the interview, and now I'm thinking it wasn't worth it.
I'm gonna tickle like you ain't never been tickled.
Oh, yes.
Ready? Ready?
Go.
Right, ready? Just.
All right.
Hey, yeah, let's sort out a safe word in case I get going.
The Dalai Lama.
The Dalai Lama. Ready?
Yeah.
You ready, sugar?
Yeah. Just do it. I cannot promise you I'm not going to knee you in the balls.
Ready? Yeah. 5 seconds.
Yeah, 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a bit of gear down there, bit of jump. Why not?
I think we both knew it was going to end like this.
We've come so far. Love lift me up where we belong.
Okay.
Here we are, pal.
Yeah. Do you throw to a commercial break after this, or do you just apologise?
We just.
That was not part of the deal. 5 seconds of tickling. Don't push it.
Just go with it, man. I mean, if this doesn't go viral, fucking nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for my guest, the wonderful Sean Oliver! Join me after the break for your final good deeds of the series. We've seen some brilliant good deeds this series. With that in mind, here's some familiar faces with ideas of how we can make 2018 an even better year.
Good morning to you beautiful people.
Good, yeah! It's dirty work, isn't it?
When you give somebody teeth, you don't just give them a smile, you don't just give them something to chew, you're giving them back their dignity.
Give what you can to the homeless, whether it's a cup of tea, conversation, or just a little bit of your time. We're all humans, we all need each other.
Big up your chest, one love, yes I. If you're on the underground, you see an elders or a pregnant lady come along, show her some love, give her a seat and make it complete and nice and sweet. Yeah, man.
How many lights are on in your house? Go around all the rooms, and if there's any unnecessary lights on, turn them off and save some energy. Do you think we could have picked a better place to film? Because I look like an absolute hypocrite now.
I'd encourage any runner that wants to be a guide runner to get in contact with British Blind Sport and to see if there's a local guide runner course going on.
Anyone can fall on hard times, so support your local food banks.
One day a week, why not go vegetarian? It's called Meat Free Monday. It's not that hard. I'm gonna do it after Christmas. Look at this fit bird.
The bike project is good, it's helping a lot of people.
If you've got an old bike, donate it to the bike project, we'll fix it up and give it to a refugee.
Is the bike making you fitter?
Yeah, make me fit, look. I'm old, I have 754, but I look young.
I am the bag lady. Don't use plastic bags, stop drinking from plastic water bottles. There's so many small things that people can do.
Support our emergency services this Christmas. If you see a paramedic or a police officer at work, just say thank you, or buy them a cup of tea, or give them a hand job.
Are you enjoying your time here?
Volunteer for Gig Buddies in your area in 2018.
Join something new! Make new friends.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait.
Teamwork, ladies.
Wonderful. And it's a special little treat. Some of our good deeders are here this evening. They're over there. Let's give them a massive round of applause. Legends. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with a new series next year. But now, with Christmas around the corner, it's time to welcome back Harry and Chris.
Christmas is a lot of things to a lot of people.
For many, it's seeing family. For some, it's seeing how many chocolate oranges they can eat.
Whether you love it or hate it, it's one thing we can all agree on.
It's Christmas.
Just in case you don't remember,
it's Christmas.
The 25th of December.
It's Christmas.
There ain't no hidden agenda.
No matter what you think of it,
it's literally Christmas.
Break it down, man.
I mean, check your calendars, it's definitely happening. So open up the chimneys of your hearts and let Santa in.
Spending time with family or spending half your salary on canapes and random cheese.
Stuff you don't actually need.
So rest your weary feet, it's a few days off.
Unless, of course, you're Santa Claus, it's definitely not.
Or you're a legend in an emergency services job.
Or you stayed open for a last minute on the way to Christmas dinner, present buying emergency service station stop.
Wait, does that explain the random choice of gifts you bring?
What do you mean? I just know how much you love antifreeze and kindling. You can create your own tradition.
Or start a Christmas band.
Write a Christmas song and sing it out into the stand.
It's Christmas.
You can tell because it's Christmas.
It's Christmas.
Did we mention that it's Christmas?
It's Christmas.
Christmas, 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 Christmas.
No matter what you think of it,
it's literally Christmas. Set the scene for us, Chris.
Away in a manger, no crib for a bed.
Voice of an angel.
A rustic outhouse is what the listing said.
I mean, it's hard to imagine that first starry night.
My mum's a midwife, she told us what it would have been like. I think he's coming. Push! I can see the head! I can see the head! Oh my God!
Why are there no placentas mentioned in the Christmas song? Oh, Joseph, Nosif, the labour would be long.
I've never seen depicted in a festive mural Mary giving birth without an epidural.
Favourite rhyme ever.
Whether or not you're on board with the origins,
we can come together to celebrate the consequence.
It's Christmas.
A donkey took a special journey.
It's Christmas.
So why the hell do we eat turkey?
It's Christmas.
It might feel like it's come too early.
No matter what you think of it,
it's literally Christmas.
Let them know, Haz.
I mean, let's be honest, Christmas isn't all about some Santa bloke.
The only reason we came here was to try out our cracker jokes.
If a Christmas tree says nice to see you nice, does that make it a Norwegian spruce forsyth? Not even sorry in the slightest.
Does St. Nick's crew know if a revolution's brewing?
An anti-Santa sentiment?
The Santa senses it.
Can the Santa sense an anti-Santa sentiment? And can you keep warm with only Christmas decorations?
What, tinsel insulation?
It's simply scintillating, a scintillating tinsel insulation situation.
You can't spell bauble without Bublé.
You can't spell Father Christmas without fat.
You can't spell Harry Christmas without Harry and Chris.
And you can't spell Brussels sprouts without a Russell in that. Because Russell Howard is...
Russell Howard Allen.
12 fidget spinners, 11 Snapchat filters, 10 Twitter scandals, 9 poo emojis, 8 children dabbing, 7 YouTube comments, 6 of them were awful. 4 Corbynites, 3 Brexiteers, 2 fields of wheat.
And a real-life reindeer scene. It's Christmas.
Let's have a joyful celebration.
It's Christmas.
For everyone from every nation.
It's Christmas.
There's a real reindeer on location.
No matter what you think of it, it's literally Christmas.
Christmas. Did we mention that it's Christmas?
It's Christmas.
You can tell because it's Christmas.
It's Christmas.
Christmas, 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 Christmas.
No matter what you think of it,
it's literally Christmas.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Harry and Chris! Thanks for watching the series. There's a lot of dandruff in here, a lot of dandruff. Have a wonderful Christmas. Good night, my friends. Good night!